Hello, everyone, and Jesse Jackson here. The second of, I guess, is going to be a series of four updates. I'm in Houston, Texas. We just got home from the hotel. Kind of made sure Linda was settled, and now then, let's talk about the night. Speaking of, they opened the show with Night. It was unexpected. And Dale, who had arranged for us to have our tickets and a really great night, had only seen Night one other time. So he was thrilled. Um, the way we were set up is we had kind of in the middle level. It wasn't quite of a suite, but it was a kind of sectioned off area. So it was Jeff and Nancy, Linda and I, and Dale, and then one of Dale's coworkers. So the six of us were there. Um, so after night, which kind of surprised us, they immediately went into No Surrender, Ghost, Prove It All Night, and then Letter to You, Promised Land, Out in the Street. So all of them sounded good. The band was almost in full force. We had little Steven and we had Susie back. Niels was out with COVID and Patty was still MIA. But we ended up counting, there's like 17 people on stage. It was really great to see Susie and little Steven back. Um, in fact, when little Steven came on stage, he took it, doused his, tipped his hat to us, and the crowd went crazy because, we were all concerned about him and we were hoping. Linda was very happy that Steven was there. She says, she loves watching him and Max. All right, so going back, um, after night as a surprise, we're getting so far what is the quote unquote standard set list. No Surrender, Ghost, Prove It All Night, Letter to You, Promised Land, Out in the Street, Candy's Room, and Kitty's Back, which was still just as good as it was last time. Really extended with a lot of horn solos and everyone kind of getting a chance to shine. And then he stepped up and he said, and I'm paraphrasing, I wrote this song um, over 50 years ago, and I still don't know what the F it means. And we started looking at each other. Jeff and I were staring at each other, and Linda's looking at me like, what? I'm going, please let it be, please let it be, please let it be. And all of a sudden he went into If I Was the Priest, and we lost our shit. I mean, Nancy and I are hugging. Linda, Jeff and I are high-fiving. Dale's like, this is the reason we go to a show. And the version was awesome. It sounded great with the band. It was full of energy and excitement. And it looked like there was this skinny older guy that was wearing a cowboy hat in front of us, and he left during this song. Now, I don't know if that's just because he was tired or was he offended that um, if I was the priest and Jesus being a gunfighter, but I don't know. Um, and then with the end, there is the short guitar solo that Steven does. They really expanded it live. So it was just epic. I'm sure people were going to video it, be available. I don't I don't like to be a shill for Bruce, but I think the download for this show, the Houston show, is worth the price just to get If I Was the Priest. It was amazing. Then they did Night Shift, and don't play that song. And then at this point, there were no other surprises. Night was we got as the opener. I just knew he would play Seeds because the last two times I'd been in Houston, he had played Seeds. He didn't. They did not, since Patty wasn't there, they did not do, we thought maybe that he would actually do Valentine's Day or If I Should Fall Behind or something from Tunnel of Love. Since she was there, I guess he didn't want to. So we go back to the Street Shuffle. And one of the things that I'd forgotten to talk about last time is they kind of did a drum off between Anthony, the new guy doing rhythm, and Max, and with Bruce pointing to each of them, taking turns, and it was a lot of fun. Johnny 99 continues to be a lot of fun. Last Man Standing was, once again, he comes out, he explains the story, he sings it. Overall, the audience seemed to be aware of it. There was some respect. I didn't hear a lot of chatter around us. Then, once again, from Last Man Standing to Backstreets, which, as I talked about last time, I think that is a really nice duo. Because the night, with no Neils, I was a little surprised they still played it. But what happened is when it would normally be the time where Niels Lofgren would do the guitar solo, little Steven and Bruce kind of did almost a dueling banjos. They went, back and forth to each other, doing the solo, which was really nice. She's the One, then Wrecking Ball and Rising. So once again, my streak is alive. Every show I've ever seen has the Rising in it. So I'm glad to see that streak. Then Badlands, and then Thunder Road. And then it was kind of funny, right? Because Bruce said, I've been asked to make an announcement on behalf of the management that if any of you, and I'm going to get this wrong, but if have heart problems or, medical conditions or easily, um, you know, easily pass out, then perhaps you might want to leave because we are about to get crazy. And then they turned on the house lights. He went into Born to Run. Then he went, Rosalita, Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark. It almost sounded like they were doing shouts, but they weren't. They were just setting up. He did the band introductions, then went into 10th Avenue Freeze Out, and then I'll See You in My Dreams. Once again, it is incredibly powerful to hear him doing I'll See You in My Dreams. As I talked about last time, that my brother was on hospice. I got a call, actually a text that on Monday morning that he had passed. So I'm here in Houston where he lived, and he's gone. And so it was emotional, as you can imagine. And I loved hearing I'll See You in My Dreams. It I think I've always said Land of Hope and Dreams is and Better Days are my favorite songs. I'll See You in My Dreams is certainly moving up. All right, so for those of you who are complaining that there's not a lot of diversity in the set list, go to a show. And that's fine. If you go to the show and you didn't enjoy it, if you just didn't feel like it worked for you, good for you. But anyone who is trying to read the set list and then do a judgment without being in the building, I think you're doing yourself and the band a disservice. I think this band is having a blast. I think everyone on stage is embracing the joy of doing live music, and Bruce is having a blast. You could tell little Steven was thrilled to be back on stage. Susie was there. It's just, it is, I've always said, and I stole this line from my buddy Sam, that with all respects to Walt Disney World, the happiest place on earth is a Bruce Springsteen show. And I really feel that this tour is a blessing for us and a gift, and you should embrace it. Linda, this was her second show on this tour. She was there in Houston, I mean Dallas. She was here in Houston. She's going to go see me in Tulsa, and she's like, I'm okay. You know, I'm happy with all the songs, and she enjoyed them. So if you get a chance to go, and I know depending on where you live, the tickets are very expensive, but I am hearing of last minute drops. I'm hearing certain areas the tickets are dropping in price. We got an announcement of another leg of the tour, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to try to buy tickets the first day. I am just going to wait and let the dust settle, because I ended up paying almost $200 a ticket for Tulsa, and I could get tickets now 40 or $50. Um, I really paid heavy price in for Dallas, could have got them cheaper. So it's hard to be patient, especially if you know you want to go to that show. And what if it sells out and then you can't go? And so I think you it is either or, right? It is either accept the fact that you may overpay, but you want absolutely to get the tickets, or you're going to take the chance that you won't spend as much, and there is a chance you may not get a ticket. What I find a lot of people, not a lot, but some are going, well, I'm going to overpay and then I'm going to be unhappy. And I just say, if you got your tickets and you're sure, just be happy that you are getting to do this. All right, that's it. Thank you guys. I will be in Austin um, on Thursday night. I plan to wherever the Spring Nut um, group is, I'm hoping to go. It's just going to be me, and I'm hoping to meet a lot of you there. And then after that, we've got Tulsa left, and then life goes to normal back in the Jackson household after this 2 weeks of fun. All right, like the video, go and follow me. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, at Jesse Jackson DFW, and on Twitter. On Twitter, I have a post. I don't have the number right in front of me where you can leave a voicemail. So please do. I'm going to do a whole series of episodes if I get enough voicemails of feedback. All right, that's it. Have a good night. And hopefully, I'll see some of you in Austin.